going on, everyone? Matt Rooney here with BetSperts, here to talk some conference outright winners in the NHL, taking a look at some futures across the hockey landscape. A couple of big favorites in each conference right now. In the West, the Colorado Avalanche plus 150 to come out and represent the Western Stanley Cup Finals. In the East, Tampa Bay Lightning, a little bit tighter in margin. They're at plus 380 to win the Eastern Conference, represent them in the Cup, with the next team closest behind them. One of my picks that I want to give out a future to take a flyer on, the Florida Panthers at plus 400. They've been the best team in the NHL this year. They're behind Tampa Bay in the Eastern Conference odds right now because Tampa Bay's done it. They've done it the last 2 years, won the Cup, so obviously won the East the last couple of years. They are the favorites. You have to beat the best to be the best, all that kind of stuff. Florida's capable of doing that. This is probably their year to go ahead and get it done. They're leading the league in goals per game with 4.1. They're in the top half in goals allowed per game while allowing under 3. Top 5 power play, penalty kill's been good too. Really like them at plus 400. Out west, we're going to go with a team that struggled a little bit this year, but is going to probably come into full health, right around into full form, right around playoff time. That's the Vegas Golden Knights. They just finally got Jack Eichel, their big offseason prize, back in the lineup. To do that, to make some room under the salary cap, they had to get rid of Captain Mark Stone. Not get rid of, I guess, put on long-term injured reserve. They need to keep him on long-term injured reserve or keep multiple pieces on long-term injured reserve in order to stay under the cap until playoff time. But like we saw with the Lightning last year, the Blackhawks in 2015, once the playoffs hit, that cap goes away. Mark Stone comes back. Jack Eichel comes back. Whoever they put on long-term injured reserve comes back. They get to operate their team at full strength, no salary cap complications. When they're at full strength, they're really good. Their issue this year has been in net. That's something that they can either try to address at the trade deadline or hope Robin Leonard kind of rounds back into form. That's a team that is so talented. We haven't seen their full product yet. We won't until the playoffs, but once we do, they could be really good. And a little bit of a long shot pick for me, the New York Rangers out east. They're at plus 1,000. The Rangers are a young, up-and-coming team that really has overachieved so far this year, but they're overachieving in some pretty sustainable ways. They have a top 5 power play. They have a top 10 penalty killed, both huge come playoff time. And they have a goaltender that's arguably been the best in the NHL in Igor Shesterkin this year. He is the odds-on favorite to win the Vezina, probably going to win the Vezina because he's going to get the Rangers to the playoff. He's going to, he's playing in Madison Square Garden for the Rangers. The Rangers are plus 1,000 with a goalie as good as Shesterkin, with a MVP-type caliber player in Artemi Panarin, with a Norris Trophy candidate in Adam Fox, a league-leading goal scorer in Chris Kreider, close to it. At plus 1,000, fourth best odds, that's a team that you can rely on maybe getting a hot goaltender, or hope you get a hot goaltender come playoff time. So I really like the Rangers at plus 1,000 as a long shot to come out of the East, and maybe if you see them win a couple playoff rounds, their odds narrow a little bit. You look to put that ticket on prop swap. But those are my 3 right now tickets that I'm going to go out and play. I like the Golden Knights plus 400 to win the West, the Panthers plus 400 to win the East, and the Rangers at plus 1,000 to win the East. Check out my stuff on the BetSperts blog. Usually put up a daily picks blog every day. Probably try and do some more futures stuff coming up. And good luck with your bets. See you guys soon.